Hey everybody, Kurt here from Paradise Adventures. So I'm out today looking for this waterfall. Right now I'm standing on the top of Weiner Falls. I think that's how you pronounce it. Most people call it Weiner Falls around here. But I learned recently, I'm pretty sure it's called Weiner or Weiner Falls. Anyways, if you know the correct name or how to pronounce it, let me know in your comments below. But I'm standing up top here, but this isn't the falls I'm looking for. This is the lower falls, and there's supposed to be an upper falls I've never been to before. All I have is a screenshot of a handwritten map that shows how to get there. So with any luck, we'll get there, and I'm not really sure what to expect. If the falls are even going to be having any good water flow, if I'm going to be able to photograph or what. I've never even seen pictures of it, so this is kind of exploratory little hike in. I'll just show you the main falls that I'm standing at right now. So here I'm standing on top of the main falls, and it's barely trickling right there. I'm quite high up, but in the springtime, in the fall, this thing gets roaring pretty good. I got some good photos of it a few months ago. I'll show it here in a second. But it's a great local attraction, and you can stand right on top of the falls. Just be careful not flying off the edge, and then the creek flies in and underneath there. There's some good opportunities for photos in there I've taken before too, especially in the winter time. But for now, I just made a pit stop. It was raining earlier, so I had all my rain gear on, and I started to overheat from hiking in here, so I'm just cooling off. And then I'm going to continue the trail up and see if we can find the other falls. Well, this is steep. I just think my dog ran up this. See, they got some rope here. I just came from down there, it comes up. It's a pretty steep spot. I don't know how far away I am from these falls, but I think I still got to go quite a bit of ways. Made it to this open area. I've been hiking now for I think about 40 minutes since I left the truck, and it's been uphill the whole way, so I'm feeling the burn. But I got to this little lookout here. I'll get you a better view in a second, but right behind me there's like these little arbutus bushes, similar to an arbutus tree, but like in a bush form. And the trail is pretty groomed. Someone's done a really good job here. So that's the trail. That's the groomed trail I just came from. And then this is the little lookout. Pretty sure it drops off right there. And I could hear the river there. Usually you can hear a lot more, but this is late summer, end of August here in Vancouver Island. We haven't had a lot of rain this summer, so not much water flow there. So I'm crossing my fingers that once I find these waterfalls, that there's something there, enough water flow to even get a good picture. But even if it's not, it's nice to get an exploratory hike out here and know for when we do get some good rainfall or some snowpack, that I know it's here to come check it out. Some more rope here. We're into some pretty steep sections. It drops right off, and there's quite the drop down there. I don't know how far it goes, but certainly would not want to fall down there. So they got this rope here so you can hold on to it and not fall down. Here's an interesting spot. So they've got a log there with some rope. My dog's standing on there, and then there's another little bridge down there. And it looks like I have been to this spot before where there was some water flow coming down through this side. My dog just about tripped. Okay, she's okay. I remember this spot where I stopped and hiked up into there. There was some water flow in there, and I thought that might have been the falls, but I don't think it is. This is as far as I went last time, so I'm gonna keep going. As long as it doesn't get any more dangerous than this. Okay, just hiked up a little more ways and I came to the sign. Top of falls. I gotta keep going up. Or bottom of falls. I gotta go down there. Can hear some water, so I think I might go check out the bottom of the falls first. So I'm getting closer. I can just see, poking through the trees, there's a small waterfall right there. And I'm wondering if that's it. The trail keeps going up this way, and I think I might cut down to get to these falls. But imagine in the springtime or late fall, that's probably running really good. So I don't know, we'll get down there and see if there's any photo opportunities here when I find a composition. I don't know, I'm not seeing much of a falls here. So either the water level is way too low or I'm in the wrong spot. But I don't know if you can see there behind me, there's a little bit of a trickle there. And then it keeps going. You can tell this is a riverbed, but there's not even a significant amount of drop off for that to be a worthwhile falls. I'm not really seeing a composition here. There's a lot of twisted fallen timber across there. And the rocks are wet and looks really slippery. It'd be dangerous to even walk around in here on those rocks without maybe some crampons or something. So now I'm just gonna I'm contemplating if I follow the trail back up to where it says Upper Falls, or I follow the loop back to the main Weiner Falls there. So I don't know. So my curiosity got to me. I started walking back up the trail where it came from, and I saw a sign that I missed that said, I think it said Lower Falls Lookout. And so I followed it down, and sure enough, I got to this waterfall here. So I finally found it. And I do imagine that that waterfall will get quite significant. I'm going to walk around here and see if I can find a composition worthy enough, because the falls are just trickling right now. But I got to be careful, the rocks are really slippery and I do not want to fall, especially this far in. So there it is. I'm standing on a bunch of fallen timber right now. It's quite high up. I'm actually surprised. It's more significant than I thought it would be. So I mean, it's only a trickle right now, but I can see that this could be quite the waterfall come in the spring and fall. So I'm going to see if I can find a shot here, but if not, I'm definitely going to come back here. The only thing I worry about coming back when the water flows more is I don't know if I'll be able to even get into this spot if that river's raging. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do is that fallen log right there and use it as a leading line. So maybe set up somewhere right here on this rock. Try and get as much of the falls as I can. Okay, so I'm having a really hard time trying to line up a composition here. You can see where I got this main log here, and I'm okay with that. It's a leading line up to the falls, but these two fall on timber here. I'm trying to, it's kind of a distraction, I think, and I was trying to get it out of the frame, and no matter where I moved around, they're too close in. So I'm just going to try and, they're here as part of the composition, so I'm just going to try and incorporate them in, maybe somehow, maybe just frame them in there. So the falls here are really tall as well, so I tried using the 18mm wide lens, and it was just too much of the scenery around it, which wasn't interesting enough for me. So I do have the 58mm tele lens on here, the moment lens, and I've got a 5-stop ND filter with a polarizer on there, and that polarizer, there was so much reflection coming off the rocks. I'll show you here. You can see all that reflection, and just by turning this, you can cut out most of that reflection right there. That's about as good as it's gonna get. So thinking try right about there, and let's switch to pro mode now, see what we come up with. So ISO 80 at 2 seconds shows a -0.7 exposure. That might be okay. Let's give it a try. That's not bad. Turn down that ISO to 64. What I'm trying to do here is, you know, when you get, the lower the amount of water flow is, the longer the shutter speed I use, so you can show that effect. It gets to show more of that water. Whenever there's a lot of fast moving water, when you have a lot of water flow, is to speed up that shutter speed. Otherwise you just lose the detail in the water and just becomes a big blurry blob. But in an instance like this, where there's not a lot of water coming down, the longer the exposure, the better. Let's try 4 seconds at ISO 50. So it's saying it's going to be a perfect exposure, but I have a feeling that top falls is going to be blown out a bit. Yeah, see, it's blown out at the top. So I'm going to go back to that 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 second ISO 50. Make sure that focus is peaked at infinity. There you go. I don't think I'm going to be able to find another composition in here. I keep looking around, and there's just not a whole lot to get from in this spot, especially when the water flow is not flowing very good, and there's huge rocks and timber everywhere, so it does make it a little difficult to even get a clear spot. But At least I got 1 or 2 shots out of there. Let me know in the comments what you think, but I definitely enjoyed getting out here and finally seeing where these falls were. It's about an hour hike in, so I got another hour hike out of here. I think luckily it's going to be mostly downhill this time. But if you got something out of this, give it a like. Consider subscribing if you already haven't. And we'll see you on the next adventure.